Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series.
Great to be back.
Today we're embarking on quite a fascinating journey, I think. We're digging into the roots of Chennai.
That bustling metropolis, yeah. You sent over some really interesting material about a Georgetown heritage walk.
I did, yeah. And it's just packed with details about how the city got started, basically as a British East India Company trading post.
Right. So our mission today is kind of unpack that history, figure out the key moments, the big influences.
And see how that early settlement became the Chennai we know. We'll touch on some older connections, too, the arrival of global traders and those markets.
Which are still thriving, apparently.
Exactly. So if you're curious about Chennai's history, want a good grasp without getting totally overwhelmed, but still want those aha moments,
Then this deep dive is definitely for you. Okay, let's jump in. Georgetown. It wasn't just like a random spot, was it?
No, not at all. The material really points to it as the first English settlement in India.
Wow, the very first.
Yeah, set up by the British East India Company way back in the 17th century.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is seeing how that initial sort of trading foothold just grew.
Organically.
Yeah, organically, and evolved into this major market hub. It really shows you the city developing because of trade right from the start.
And Fort St. George gets mentioned, too.
Ah, yes. The first English fort in India. A really significant marker of their early presence.
So you can almost picture it, right? This tiny 17th century post gradually expanding.
Morphing into this bustling Georgetown.
And the Heritage Walk itself, it sounds like quite something, guided by a cultural evangelist.
I know, that phrase caught my eye too.
It suggests someone really passionate, not just reading facts off a sheet.
Totally. Someone eager to make the history come alive, and the walk takes you through streets where they sell. What was it?
Everything under the sun.
That's it. Paints a picture, doesn't it? A really vibrant commercial center, even way back then.
Yeah. And something else that jumped out at me was the mention of Armenian traders.
Oh, yes. Setting up shop as early as 1712.
1712, that's pretty early. What does that tell us?
Well, I think it really underlines Chennai's early global connections. It wasn't just the British. It was attracting merchants from different places very early on.
That's incredible, an early international hub.
And the walk apparently juxtaposes this, placing these international influences right next to much older history.
Like the ancient temples that were there before the British?
Exactly. Temples sitting alongside the Armenian church. It shows this kind of layering of cultures.
So it wasn't just one group dominating, it was a mix right from the start.
Absolutely. A convergence of different trading interests, different cultures, and, speaking of senses, the food.
Ah, yes. The food street. A haven for foodies.
You got it. A chance to try local snacks, which is always, a great way to connect with the place.
Definitely adds another layer to the experience. Now, beyond the initial info, we also looked at some TripAdvisor reviews, right?
We did. It's always good to get that firsthand perspective.
What were the main takeaways there? Any common themes?
Yeah, quite a few. People consistently praise the guides. Names like Satish and Harish came up.
Oh, specific names. Nice.
Yeah, mentioned as being really polite, super knowledgeable, and genuinely enthusiastic about Chennai's history.
That makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It really does. And people highlighted learning specific facts, about Fort St. George, about Georgetown itself. It wasn't just a casual stroll.
So a strong educational element.
Definitely. And practical stuff, too. One review mentioned the tour was complete with snacks and drinks included.
That's a nice touch.
A thoughtful detail, yeah. But the main thing was this emphasis on the rich history and culture shared by the guides, making it feel like a much deeper dive.
Okay.
Oh, one comment really stuck with me. Someone mentioned navigating the carnage streets.
Carnage streets. Wow, what does that even...
I know. It gives you such a vivid sense of this bustling, maybe slightly chaotic, high-energy atmosphere.
Yeah, suggests it's really alive, not some sanitized museum piece.
Exactly. And interestingly, even people who kind of knew Chennai already, they said they learned new things, like more about the British and Portuguese influence on how the city formed, or discovering places like the Armenian church they didn't know about.
Okay, so it offers fresh perspectives, even for locals or semi-locals? That's impressive.
Suggests it digs pretty deep, yeah.
So not just surface level. Okay, let's look at the itinerary they mentioned. What are the key stops?
Right, so Fort St. George is obviously central, and inside St. Mary's Church.
The oldest Anglican one, east of Suez.
That's the one. Plus, old lighthouses from the East India Company days really anchors you in that history.
Yeah, tangible links to the past.
Then there's the High Court, described as a splendid specimen of Indo-Saracenic style.
Ah, that architectural blend. Fascinating.
It is, isn't it? And Dare House is mentioned too, another Georgetown landmark.
Okay.
And of course, Armenian Street, which loops back to those early traders we talked about.
Right, the Armenian refugees trading silk, spices, gems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can almost picture this dynamic international trading scene taking shape.
It really builds a picture.
It does. And the itinerary wraps up, as we said, with visits to local eateries for those snacks.
A taste of the local scene, literally.
Perfect ending. So when you see how this walk covers those 17th century beginnings,
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing to think how that initial foothold just kept growing and adapting over centuries.
Becoming the massive trading hub Chennai is now.
That early entrepreneurial spirit, it clearly laid some serious groundwork for the city's economy today.
It's fascinating that these layers are still so accessible that you can literally walk through them.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like Georgetown isn't the only story to explore on foot there.
Oh, what else did the info mention?
Well, there's a Gods of Mylapore walk. Sounds like it goes even further back.
Older history.
Yeah, tracing links to ancient Roman trade. And featuring places like the Kapalishwar Temple, Santom Basilica.
Which has Marco Polo connections, right?
Yeah, apparently so. And the Ramakrishna Universal Temple. So a totally different vibe, focusing on ancient faith and trade.
Wow, okay. Roman times to modern spirituality.
Then there's a Marina Beach walk, focusing more on the city's like modern legacy, statues, another temple, Parthasarathi.
Swami Vivekananda mentioned too.
Yes, and an old lighthouse again. So different eras, different perspectives along the beach.
Lots of options. And didn't it mention Mahabalipuram too?
Yes, just outside the city. The UNESCO World Heritage Site.
With the Pancharathas, Arjuna's pennant.
Krishna's Butterball.
Yeah.
Love that name. And the Shore Temple, also linked to Marco Polo, apparently.
So much history packed into that region.
It really shows the depth, doesn't it, in and around Chennai.
Absolutely. So as you can hear, Chennai's story isn't simple. It's this rich tapestry, really, woven from centuries of trade.
Cultural exchange,
Yeah.
amazing architecture, and look at the Georgetown Heritage Walk. It just shows how much history is right there, embedded in the city streets.
We really hope this deep dive has given you a useful shortcut maybe, a fascinating way into Chennai's origins.
And perhaps even sparked a bit of wanderlust to go explore it yourself.
If you are interested in experiencing this walk, or maybe one of the others.
And uncovering even more of Chennai's story, you can book a tour.
Yeah, definitely. To book your incredible India tour and dive into this history firsthand, you can send an email to contact@fivesensestours.com. That's the number 5, SENSES tours.com.
Or you can call or send a WhatsApp message to +919 845 677 446.
We highly recommend checking it out. Sounds like an incredible experience.